Morning guys, girls, how are yous all today? Got the big king out, number 5, the last one in the collection at the moment. Goes by the name of Arthur. I'm sure plenty of you guys, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, have seen this guy. I post him up pretty frequently. He's a beautiful black-headed python. I got this guy about a year ago. I actually purchased him to help me get over my... I always wanted a bigger snake to kind of help me get used to handling them. All my other snakes are relatively small compared to this guy. This guy's about 7.5 foot, potentially 8 foot long now. I've never measured him, but he was 7 foot when I got him, so I assume he'd be a bit larger now. He's a beautiful snake. These guys, very fascinating. They eat other reptiles. Probably notice I never have him out with the other snakes for that reason. Always a bit concerned he might try and have a snack, so try to keep him apart from them. Yeah, he's never bitten me or anything. He's a gentle giant. When it comes to dinner time though, he's a bit of a savage. I have seen him get a bit crazy in the past inside his enclosure, but outside his enclosure, he's a big sweetheart. So yeah, that's Arthur for yous. Today I am going to talk about my journey with cannabis. I got a request last night. It's funny to me. I find it funny people like listening to these talks and stuff, but it's nice to know that people do enjoy hearing me have a yarn about life and things. So yeah, I got a message about someone asking me if I could potentially make a video on why I stopped smoking cannabis, and I was like, yeah, I can do that for sure. And I'll try to explain it the best I can. It's been a journey for me. I've kind of gone on and off cannabis for like the last, I'd say, year and a half. There's periods where I would just take kind of long breaks, but I kind of always had it in mind that I wanted to not smoke all the time anymore. And then I decided, yeah, to take a couple of months off. And I think the first time it pretty much came from me getting a bit sick, like my lungs were a bit fucked. I just wasn't doing too well physically, and I really knew that it was starting to catch up with me. I've smoked for about 13 years now. At one point, well, back when I first started, I was 15 years old. I was pretty filthy stoner. I was just like a young bong rat, just go smoke bongs with tobacco and shit, Gatorade bottles, just pretty much how a lot of us start in Australia. And I was just wagging school, smoking weed. It was kind of like an escape for me, so that's how I began. And then I kind of just smoked like that for probably, I'd say 3 or 4 years. And then at one point I decided I'd give up tobacco with the weed. I had a good mate named Taylor, the Aussie connoisseur, as some of you might know him as. And he was one of my only homies around that was smoking straight. And he got me to come along to a couple of these afternoon on the greens. And I was like, yeah, sick, I'll come along, check it out. And there was a few other stoners there, and they smoked straight. I had a bit more etiquette about them. So I decided to stop smoking mix. And that was a bit hard for me. It was kind of the same thing. Like, I'd go back and forth, try smoke straight, end up back smoking mix again. And then eventually I ended up just dropping the tobacco altogether. And for years I just smoked. I've smoked for longer without tobacco than I did with tobacco. And there was a period there where I got right into my hash and my lung collapsed. Got a scar here still. You probably can't see it from the camera obviously, but I had a pneumothorax. My lungs were getting a bit dodgy there, and I spent about 8 days in hospital with a tube in my chest. And at that period I already knew that it was kind of like fucking with me, smoking. But I think that was when I had a forced kind of break for the first time. Didn't really have an option. So I don't know how long it took for me to start smoking after my lung collapsed and I spent them times in hospitals, but I was already doing edibles and shit in hospital. And then as soon as I could start smoking again, I'm pretty sure I did, for another few years there. And yeah, as I said, I just got to a point up here at the farm where it really wasn't working for me. Like I would get high and I'd be like, just in uncomfortableness, I guess. And for a while there, it was a battle of like, get high. I wouldn't even really enjoy it that much. And I'd say to myself, I'm not going to do it tomorrow. And then I'd just do it anyway. And that was a battle for a fair while, probably like months to a year. And then, yeah, once again, my health went downhill. Decided I would stop and start running. And, you know, cranking some goggins. Doing what you have to do to get motivated to get into that mind state. And started doing some running here. And surprised myself, you know, and in a few weeks I was already running a fair bit. And then I got some kind of injury. I just went too hard too quick and ended up smoking again. And most recently, like as I said, I'd taken months off, and I would just find myself in a better state of mind, you know. But every time I'd smoke again, I would be in a better state of mind too. So it wasn't like I was going back to feeling how I felt when I originally did smoke. When I was really feeling all that discomfort, getting stuck in my head. You know, I'd smoke again and it would feel good. It was like real nice. I was quite enjoying it. I didn't feel that anxiety or the discomfort anymore. And for a while it was like that. And then I could kind of have a bit of self-control there. And I would smoke, but not every day, or maybe not all day. But then slowly I'd just fall back into those old habits of smoking when I get up, smoking before I have to do a task. And it's just overrunning me. And so I took another break, got a bit healthier, a bit fitter again, and was feeling good. And then I smoked again, and just certain things, like I could feel I wasn't really aligned with what I was doing. I still didn't feel too bad, don't get me wrong. I was mentally doing good by then because I'd been working my physical, keeping my routine up. But there's just certain little things I could feel in my life that was affecting, which was obviously my financial situation. I try to be very conscious about that. I got a lot of animals to feed. I got to stay ahead, you know. I can't be putting my habits above any of this. It's just not right to me. And it's just going to cause me too much grief, so I choose not to do that. And yeah, I was just having certain little situations in my life where I wasn't feeling good. So I just decided, fuck it, I'll stop again. And the last catalyst was actually my dogs got into a real big fight, and it just kind of made me reflect a lot. And I was like, I'm just not the leader while I'm like in this state of mind. They're always on the ball. My dogs are very testing, you know, they're just always on the ball, and they can tell when I drop the ball, especially when I've been going back and forth from trying to be the leader, being a good role model. I could feel it, you know. I could see where I was slipping up, and then they were losing that respect and that stuff, and they were just like, you know, just play up. So that was one thing. And then also my eating, like I wasn't really as consistent as I would like to have been with my eating, my sleeping. There's just all those kind of little things that doesn't really bother a whole lot of people, but for me, being out here trying to keep these good routines, trying to be the best I can for those around me, that was a huge catalyst. And then there's also the fact that it was a trauma response for me. Cannabis. I smoked, as I said, since I was that young, and had a lot of traumatic experiences while smoking, and I just felt like it wasn't benefiting me. I'm sure there's people out there that use it how it's meant to be used, but I'm not that great at that, I guess. And yeah, I'm not telling anyone they should quit or whatnot, but good day, Stelly. I'm just explaining this for people that wanted to hear it, I guess. So yeah, nowadays I don't really even think about it. I mean, I might for like a split second, but I don't even feel like smoking. I got mates that come around and smoke and all that. And hey, careful, girl, knock me camera over. Yeah, I got mates that come around and smoke and stuff still. I don't really mind. I don't feel like smoking. I don't smoke, you know, no matter what someone says to me or how much they have it around me. It's not like I ever crave anything or struggle with that. So yeah, and then there's the part of, I've got a lot of good friends that I can tell struggle with substance abuse or addictions, and I just don't really want to be that guy anymore that is doing that, you know. I got role models too that I look up to, that, you know, role models don't always have to be good influences. They can also be people that you look up to and you're like, damn, I can see a couple of those things that maybe I shouldn't continue doing, or like they're still not in a great state of mind or great physically, or, you know, you gotta observe, gotta stay aware. And yeah, I do a lot of this for the people around me too, because I want to be that center that sometimes we all need. You know, I wasn't really too blessed in the sense that I've got someone around me at this point that is sober or anything like that. I've kind of had to do this all by observing others online and using them as my good role models. So yeah, I can't say I got a whole lot of people out here that have influenced me in the right ways, and I would like to be that influence for others in a sense. So yeah, I hope that makes sense to you guys. I'm just gonna enjoy the day today. Got to go into town, get a bit of food. stock up on some animal food for a couple of these guys and the dogs. Usually do my Lismore trip once a week. It's about an hour and 45 minutes drive from here, so try not to go in it too frequently. But I also do like the fact that they've got good food in there. Stelly rolling around, knocking my camera everywhere today. We'll get a good view of King Arthur out here on the grass. And then I'll go in and sort my life out.